On the Tracks of a Shadow. Written by Carlos Usín. Narrated by Cruz. Published by TekTime. Dedication. To my father. Prologue. History is not about big battles or great names. It is not even written by the victors. They have, at most, the opportunity to try to twist it. History is written with the sum of the experiences of the anonymous people who lived it, who suffered it, and of whom one almost never hears anything. This sum of experiences is what really makes us understand what happened and how it affected ordinary people who are the majority. A clear example is this book by Carlos who, in an effort to understand his almost unknown father a little better, discovered surprising things not only about his life, but also about the civil war that Spain suffered. And I do mean suffered, because whoever wins, a war is always a collection of sorrows for the majority of its participants. Sometimes I used to watch, amazed at how people kept trying to find out in which mass grave their ancestor was buried, or discover a detail of what happened in some remote part of Spain. I always wondered if it wouldn't be better to let sleeping dogs lie and move on. But, in the end, I have had to banish that selfish idea held by those who do not remember having lost anything. Who am I to judge how others deal with their grief, their suffering? There were a great many injustices on both sides, much misery and much pain. The winners, obviously, had more and better opportunities to demonstrate how far some people's depravity can go given the chance. But in a conflict of this scale, there are opportunities for all sorts of sadness to come to light, not just among those who, by their nature, were already miserable, but also those whom circumstances, in this case almost always geographical, obliged to take part, even on the side they would not have chosen had they had the choice. This is the story of Enrique Usín, Carlos's father, who, coming from a family close to the Falange political movement, with ideas on the right side and being brought up with those beliefs, finds himself obliged, through the mere fact that he lives in Madrid, a Republican zone, to enlist on the opposite side of the one he would have chosen had he been able to and wanted to, and, although dedicating himself to medicine in the army and not to active combat, has to pay, and how, those who in theory could have been his allies, at least ideologically, under rules that the victors adjusted continually according to their needs and which they tried to portray as legitimate to the world at large, especially within Spain. Enrique has to endure a long journey of agony, flogged over and over again by the twists of fate. This is a clear example of how in war there are neither winners nor losers, at least among ordinary people, and that real history resides in the lives of people like Enrique, who suffered it, and whose story can be told thanks to the perseverance of his son, Carlos. All that remains now is to accompany Enrique through what is also our own past. Javier Salazar, author of Endura, Son of the Forest, chosen as Best Young Adult Fiction Novel of 2014 by the Spanish newspaper El Economista. Acknowledgements. My sincerest thanks to the following organizations and institutions: the General Military Archive of Segovia, the General Military Archive of Madrid, the General Military Archive of Avila, and the Spanish Ministry of Defense. The General and Historical Defense Archive in Madrid for allowing me to access in the reading room to the files on the emergency summary trial against Enrique. All the above, one way or another, helped me at different times by providing the information requested or, in its absence, pointing me in the direction where perhaps I should keep looking and giving me appropriate contact details. A special mention for Doña Ana Rocasolano Díez of the Complutense University of Madrid, who, against all my expectations, surprised me by sending me Enrique's entire academic file by email, conveniently scanned. It is worth
Sample complete. Ready to continue?